Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's up?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you a bit.
And good evening, finalist followers of Final People, guys and girls. How are you? Thank you very much.
Good alliteration.
I could throw in there. A lot of F words.
Alliteration.
That's right. By the way, I probably don't know this, but we're reviewing a big movie tonight. It's from 1974, Mad Monster Party. Phyllis Diller's starring the
all-time classic.
That's not the one. All right, we take the Mad out, and it's just Monster Party, which we should be doing on Monster Men. But you know, Jack and I are going to be in the gutter and do it on this piece of shit show tonight.
We're slumming. We're slumming.
By the way, that smiling guy over there who's laughing and going, I really regret tying myself to these two assholes. That's Jason
Every
Brant.
episode is just regret.
I mean, literally, you went to like Piggly Wiggly and got us out of like the carton of cheap ass co-hosts. And my main man, Jack Campisi.
I gotta say, I'm happy to be here. Oh, thank you for having me.
Oh, faith and bigora.
Wow.
By the way, speaking of Monster Man, when do we have a new episode coming out?
Yeah, I gotta edit one. I was busy, so I'll get one. Maybe I'll edit this week. I don't get paid for this crap. All I do is you should pay me.
I do pay you in beer every time you come here, and peanuts, like an elephant, drunk elephant.
Peanuts and candy corn.
We lost our Christmas episode, so you know we need something else.
Was that a drunken mishap?
Gone.
No, it was a computer mishap. It couldn't get the file got corrupted or something. We lost a great episode, so I haven't recovered. I have the next episode. I just got to edit it. Shouldn't take too long. So
we're quitting. You lose an episode, we quit.
Maybe I'll hang it out on Saturday.
Now, every week before we start this show, this dude named Sheridan, we're not quite sure who he is or what he is. He could be a pod person for all we know, but he writes drinking rules. Has anybody have the drinking rules available to them?
I have them. Would you like them?
Yes, I would.
All right. Jack, if you say deformed guy or series, take a word. Hunter, yours are anonymous, pool and hand, and mine are budget, screen, and humor. And the bonus words are Shudder, Sword, and Addict. Well, there you go.
I like one of my words is stranger.
No.
And
Anonymous,
hand?
pool, and hand.
Hand. That's it.
You were thinking about your left hand there?
I was thinking of the game you play with your hand called The Stranger.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah. Billy Joel has a whole album about it.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, Jack. Why don't you take us into the news? What came out in January? This is always a big time for big news.
I had news sitting here for the past 2 or 3 weeks that we haven't done news. And then something jumped ahead of the line because it just came out the other day. CBS, I know they've ordered a pilot, I believe, and they're probably going to go to series with a TV show that's a sequel to Silence of the Lambs. It is about Clarice Starling, most likely in the years between Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal.
I was always wondering what happened with her in that time period.
Now, I love Silence of the Lambs. I'm not a big fan of Hannibal. I thought the TV show Hannibal was pretty good, but it kind of lost me towards the later seasons. So I'm not going to immediately write it off because I never thought a show about Hannibal would work. But they reinvented the whole thing, so it was kind of amusing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I dread this. I hope I'm wrong, but oh my God, does this just sound... Ugh, I don't know.
She was a Lyft driver for that period of time.
It's going to be on CBS, whether it's CBS or their streaming service.
From the people who gave us Young Sheldon?
Yes. Young Sheldon meets a young Clarice.
Here's the thing with this beyond Silence of the Lambs, you do not want to have anything to do with the rest of it. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
If
No.
you've read the books,
Red Dragon. Red Dragon's about the only other thing.
the freaking sequel Thomas Harris wrote is mind-boggling. I read it. I could not believe what he did with Clarice and Hannibal Lecter. I just don't do it. Read the first book.
I
watch
told
the first
Hunter
movie.
this. I told Hunter this. When I finished the book Hannibal, I closed the book and I stared at the wall for like 5 minutes with my mouth dropped. I just couldn't believe what I had just read. And I was like, I can't believe I spent the money on this book and I spent the time reading this book. And after all the wait and everything, that's what they did. Then I saw the movie and I said, damn, they should have stuck to the book.
Wow. That's damn. I never read the book, so.
Dude, the ending is... I would love to know what he was thinking. Like, honestly.
Probably thinking, I wish people would stop asking me to write this.
I think he was trying to get out from under the thing that made him a billionaire.
Yeah, whether he realized it or not, consciously or unconsciously.
It's not great.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know when.
Sorry, I missed it.
I don't know when this is coming out or whatever, but we'll keep our eye out for it. And who knows? Maybe it'll be better than we think.
Watch Manhunter. That's a
Exactly.
good. That's really
Yeah.
the first one. That was
That's
really
pretty
good. Michael Mann.
Speaking of properties being turned into series, it's always one of our favorite topics on this show. Andres, I think it's Muschietti, who did It, is working on a reboot of a beloved franchise movie and series of movies as a Netflix show. And that movie is The Howling.
Oh, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I love the Howling series so much. It's so bad.
So I like the idea that
Yeah.
it's going to be a Netflix series, not another movie. And, if you just take the premise of that, I'm actually looking forward to it. The guy did It. It's okay. I have no problem with this one.
Did he?
It can't be worse than parts 5 through 8 of the movies.
7 is the worst movie ever made. So if they did a series based
New
on
Moon
7,
Rising?
I would be all in. It would be brilliant. So did it say, maybe I missed the beginning, was it just based on the first one? Or on the book? Or the whole series?
I have a feel. Well, they're saying it's a remake of The Howling for Netflix, so I think it's a series. But for all I know, it could just be a movie.
I'm just wondering what they're adapting. If they're just sticking to the first movie, there could be something good here. If you start getting into the second one with Sybil Danning.
I didn't read this closely, but this could be a series or a movie. I don't know. There's going to be a remake of The Howling. I just thought Netflix and assumed. I assumed, and I made an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, Oscar. Well, Tim Meyer, author extraordinaire, loves Howling 3. Which
is
now I'm going to think that's probably the worst one then, right?
What's the one with Christopher Lee, part 2?
Yes. It's been so
Sybil
long since
Danning.
I've seen the series. I need to rewatch it. I can't remember what 3 is. But 7.
Would you rather watch the Hellraiser series or the Howling
Howling.
series?
Yep.
He says without wait, yeah. When are you going to do the Hellraiser series?
Dude, after doing A Nightmare on Elm Street and then Halloween back to back, it just broke my soul. I need like
I
a year
understand.
until I can start up again.
Time and distance.
Isn't Kari Wuhrer in one of the Hellraiser movies? I need to rewatch that one because I love her.
Is
I
she?
don't remember that.
I think so.
Huh?
If memory serves,
Where is she?
I
now?
could be high on lithium. I don't know.
Again.
Yeah, on lithium batteries.
She is in Hellraiser 7.
That's the one I'm going to
I haven't
watch.
seen. What's 7? Which one's that?
Hellraiser Deader.
Deader. Oh yeah. Oh god. That one's
Deader?
bad.
She's a reporter investigating a group that can resurrect the dead.
I'm in. I'm all in.
I don't think I can do Hellraiser. I might do The Howling. We'll see. We'll see where my mental health is at come March or so. I might pick up another series.
I mean, I could watch a Cowrie Horror movie.
You say that,
I could do
but
it.
you clearly have not seen Hellraiser 7.
I haven't, so this,
How born did you, dude?
Back in the day, she had a good run on Cinemax there for a while. God bless her.
She
Tim
did.
is saying Howling
Look,
3 is the marsupials.
Ah,
Ooh, that's a big word for that
Kangaroos?
franchise.
They've turned into kangaroos?
Oh,
so
God.
fucking
All right, I'll
weird.
watch the Howling series. Fine.
I'm not forcing you.
I'm not watching 7 again.
I-
No.
Wait, I don't know. Did you watch that one that came out on Netflix last year or the year before?
Which one?
With fake
The
Pinhead?
Hellraiser
No, I
one?
didn't watch that one.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Maybe the worst movie I've seen in 5 years.
Was that? Oh, the one last year. Okay. I was thinking, which one had the fat
Yeah.
kid in it? So,
Oh, that was 2 before that? I don't
that
know.
one was great. It was like somebody put
God.
the freaking makeup on me. Like, don't do that.
I would love it if I was a film school teacher and I had a class of like, oh, these people are jerks. I'd change the whole syllabus and say, we're just doing Hellraiser this entire semester. You jerks.
This Hellraiser Rubik's Cube I have is actually from Hellraiser 3.
Oh, God,
really?
Hell on Earth. Oh,
Little-
I hate that movie.
I just need me Ashley Lawrence.
Speaking of old movies being turned into TV series, this one, that's the next one. It never ends.
Good God.
This one is definitely a, let's see, limited series adaptation of Stephen King's Carrie in the works for FX. So FX is a kind of a network.
Yeah, but we just had that. I mean,
There's been 3 Carries, right? There's the original, then there was like
well,
an
Carrie Part
80s or
2.
90s one,
And then you had
The Rage, and then you had
Chloe
the one
Grace
with
Moretz.
Chloe Grace Moretz. And then there was even some sequels in there to that. Well, now this one, and Hunter, you're going to love this. I think they're going to play with the gender fluidity thing that's the big topic of these days.
I'm quite fluid.
God.
My gender's just awash in fluids.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, I'm in. This sounds like a train wreck.
It's in the early stages of development for FX. Now, FX can have shows with a little bit of an edge to them.
Yes.
Like, I guess if you own a property like Carrie, this is probably the best. We don't need another remake. So, again, as long as we do this podcast, we're going to be reporting on old movies that are turned into series now. That's the new thing. So, line up. Carrie's
Gender
next.
fluid Carrie is my favorite.
Wait until the Cujo series comes out.
She's going to be in the bathroom
The
in the
Cujo.
beginning getting her period out of her dick or something.
Cujo and Hooch. Or
It's
Turner
not
and
going to be a
Cujo.
prom. It's going to be some like, men's club meeting. It's just gonna murder all of them.
There's not even that much depth in Carrie. It's a good novel. It ends at the end. Like, leave it alone. It's been done. There's so much good stuff to adapt. I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, Jack, I'm thinking of Cujo if they made that like a 10-part series. And part 4, the dog is still outside the
Boy,
car.
she's still in
It's
the car.
really hot this episode.
Actually, the first 7 episodes will be like taking the dog from like conception to birth to growing up. Then the last episode they'll be in the car.
Imagine if that freaking In the Tall Grass movie was a miniseries, and just every episode is just them wandering around the.
That movie sent Dee Wallace to like a place to recover for a
Really?
few weeks. Yeah,
I believe it.
she was completely traumatized from that movie.
She was dog tired after that movie.
What?
All right, that's all the news that's fit to print.
God, was it fit to print? Was it?
Yeah, it's all the news I could find on the internet.
It's January. This is just fake news graveyard. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're coming back to do our staff picks. Get ready.
We have such sights to show you.
This is the part of the show where we talk about movies that we watch, books we read, video games we spend time away from our significant others playing with. Now, I've explained this all scientifically for you at the start of the new year and the new season of Final Guys. So,
You do a mean Simpsons professor guy imitation.
Thank you very
That's pretty
much.
good.
Next week, I'll do Chief Wiggums. So we always start with Jason because Jason watches the most. So I don't want you to feel like we favor Jason in any way. In fact, it's pity that we pick him
because
we know how much nothing is going on in the Brant house.
It's true.
Did the tall one install like nanny cams just to keep an eye on you and just see what you're doing while she's busy earning all the money?
Oh, yeah, I used to work on computers. She's not getting past me.
So, Jason, what did you kick off the new year with?
I started with Smoke and Mirrors, the story of Tom Savini, the documentary that hit Shudder.
I saw.
And it was really good. Like the content of it. It was maybe a little amateurish in the production. It seems like maybe whoever made this recorded it with different cameras over different periods of time. And it seemed like they just grabbed, like Danny McBride's talking about him, but it's clearly on a red carpet. So, there's background noise and people walking past, but it doesn't mean that the content isn't good. And it really is. And I was a little afraid it might just turn into a highlight reel of all the stuff he's done. And I would say maybe the first half of that is, maybe the first third. But then it really gets into a lot of the personal stuff he has, his time in Vietnam, his divorces. He has different kids he has and hasn't seen over the years, and kind of what happened to his career when he peaked it from dusk till dawn and then just disappeared forever. Or not forever, but for quite a while. And it goes into all that, and it's really good. It is a hell of an insight into Tom Savini. So if you're a fan like I am, this is an absolute must-watch. It's great.
I want to see that, so I'm glad you liked it.
I have a little Tom Savini news.
Oh.
Really?
My buddy works at WWE, and just the other day I got a text. He's like, I just met Tom Savini.
Whoa.
He was in there.
At the WWE?
He's at WWE hanging out. He's doing something. I forget what. And so they have a whole TV.
Is he
empire.
outfitting all the wrestlers with cock revolvers?
I don't think it had to do with wrestling, but I don't know, somehow. But I kept telling my guy, oh my God, Sex Machine is there? Tell him I love Dawn of the Dead. Actually, tell him I like most everything he's done. So
nice.
Pretty cool. And a quick aside, Hunter, you remember this? We were at Chiller Theater once.
Yes.
Standing in a room. The girl, the hot redhead from what is it? Demon Bordello of Blood.
Bordello of Blood.
What's her? Angie something. Was sitting
Angie Everhart?
Angie Everhart. We were in the Angie Everhart room, and Tom Savini is standing next to me, and Hunter is across the room from me. And I just turn, like, practically in Tom Savini's face, go, hey, Tom Savini's right here. Hey, look, Tom Savini right here. Then the power goes out, and the room goes pitch black. So I raise up my old school digital camera, which was like, the size of a shoebox. And I just click and took a flash photo in Tom Savini's face. So somewhere in my old photos, there's like the whitewashed picture of Tom Savini's face.
And he already didn't want to be there. Yeah. Much less in the dark.
I was going to say, how did he handle that?
He was cool.
So
he didn't turn his Sex Machine gun on me. So
yeah, you lucked out.
At the very end, somebody does talk about how he was an asshole to him at a signing. And, there was all that talk about basically through the 90s about him not being very personable at appearances. And I just wanted to say that I met him in maybe 99. I want to say 99 at a Pittsburgh Comic-Con. He was there promoting his makeup show, his makeup school.
The school?
And he was so incredibly nice to me. He was the first horror celebrity I've ever met. And there was no one at his booth, and I was just kind of walking by, and I was like, holy shit, that's Tom Savini. So he just probably talked to me for 15 minutes. He was so nice and so kind that, I sometimes wonder if I'd had a really bad experience with him, if I would have given a shit about meeting some of these other people that I get to meet at like Scares and Cares the thing and things like that. So
right.
It was one of those things that makes me think, when you meet somebody, how important it is to, even if you're pissed off, give them 30 seconds and, you might make a difference for somebody.
So we learned tonight that he took your horror hymen.
He did.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
Tom
Just
Savini.
remember, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Thanks, Fred
Such a
Rogers.
nice show.
Well, you're up, Jack, now.
Okay. I watched several movies over the break, cramming for the best of show, and many of the movies I watched, unfortunately, did not make the top 13 list. Luckily, this means I don't have to watch as many movies for the next couple of weeks because I banked a bunch.
Nice.
One such movie happens to star one of the people who's in Monster Party.
Really?
So, you know the lovely blonde caterer girl?
Yes.
Yes.
Main character? Well, that's Virginia Gardner, and she is in a movie that got a lot of like buzz in some of these best of lists at the end of the year called Starfish.
Okay.
And I watched this movie. This is a movie, I would say it's more kind of a sci-fi drama with some horror overtones, because basically it's a girl who's grieving the death of her best friend, but then sort of the end of the world happens and there's kind of like some monsters and Lovecraftian things, but it's the backdrop of the movie, and it crops up every so often. But the movie's really more about grief.
Where's Ari Aster?
Yeah. And there's a lot of like symbolism going on. There's this whole mixtape that she has from her friend that may hold the key to saving the world that she's trying to figure out.
A mixtape? An actual tape mixtape?
An actual mixtape.
Oh my God.
One of the
I have this mixtape, but nothing to play it in.
Hunter, if you watch this movie without me around and before you knew about it, you would just, the next time you saw me, be like, well, I saw a movie with a girl that you're going to love, because Virginia Gardner is not only gorgeous, but she is killer in this movie. She really good performance, but it's a quiet, it's not a fast-paced movie. It's more of a drama. It's worth a look. Did not make any kind of top list for me, but I definitely knew it was interesting. It had some depth to it, and she is great in it. And it was so different from what she does in Monster Party. But the other, the funny thing is I'm watching Monster Party, and the reason I looked up who was in it, because somebody else in Monster Party I'll get to was driving me crazy. It was like, who is that? Who is that? And then as I was like doing this, I realized like, oh wait, this girl's in Starfish. That's kind of made me decide to go watch it. So, so it's worth checking out. Got a lot of buzz. If you're on the artsy side of the fence, you probably like it more than if you're looking for a Tom Savini movie.
If it's free on a thing that I subscribe to, I'm in.
Yeah, I think you'll like it, because I think the themes of grief
stuff.
Yeah, and it's a very open interpretation at the end. So
I love grief because I love to give it. So I like to watch it as well, so I can learn how to give more grief to other people who love me.
You should give me a lot of grief.
Yep. Well, there's no grief in this review, ladies and gentlemen. I went to the theater to see a late night viewing of Terror Train.
Nice.
The Jamie Lee Curtis slasher on a train movie, which my wife had never seen. So my concern was it started at 10 o'clock. I'm usually down for the count by 10 o'clock or hitting the canvas just about. But I was like, I can power through this. There's beer. That will keep me awake, which usually it doesn't. But in this case, it did. If you've never seen this movie, the MC who was talking to us said that the guy who wrote it had just seen Silver Express or Silver Bullet, whatever that.
Silver Streak,
maybe.
With Gene Wilder.
He saw the movie about train. He says,
"Yeah, that's Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor."
I don't think it was that movie though. It was something else. But then he said, "Why don't we just do like a Halloween movie on a train?" And he said his wife goes, "That's the dumbest thing I ever heard." He wrote it and sold it within like weeks. So never pay attention to your wife. It's a Canucksploitation movie. So there's like a 10-year period where Canada was giving all this. You didn't pay any taxes, so everyone was going up there to make these movies. And I think Jamie Lee shot it a month after she finished Prom Night. So
nice.
She's looking very good. These are, in the very beginning, they're pre-med students. And freshman year, they're having a bonfire for New Year's Eve. And they play a joke on one of these kids where he thinks he's going to get laid because he's pledging this frat. And Jamie Lee Curtis is voicing what she thinks, I think, is like a mannequin in the bed. but it's actually just pieces of a corpse from the lab. And this guy goes crazy. Cut to 4 years later. It's New Year's Eve again, so that's why this movie is so great to watch this time of year. And they have commandeered this old train that just does excursions, these parties. And they're going to party, and there's going to be live music. No drugs, but a lot of drinking. And there's a killer walking around because everybody's also in these crazy costumes, and he's killing everybody. This movie, even though there is not a single kill that happens on screen, everything's off screen. If you do see blood, it's painted on a wall somewhere, so you don't see any killings. And it's Jamie Lee Curtis and a couple of her friends, but the main star is just like the old conductor who wants to just, and he sells Winnebagos, and that's really what he wants to, where his passion is.
Selling Winnebagos.
It's such a strange movie, but it's like, I was wired, man. I loved it. I hadn't seen it since the 80s. It stars David Copperfield in his one and only movie role.
Really?
As the magician hired to be on the train to do magic. And he does perform magic. Looking like such a douche. Like, I'm going, like, oh my God, he must have been just the worst.
That guy landed Claudia Schiffer.
Yeah, he did. That was his greatest magic trick of all time. And then we're seeing there's a girl dressed as a mermaid. And I'm like, God, man, she's gorgeous. And then as soon as she talks, I'm like, that's Vanity.
Oh
my God.
From Prince's Pack. It was like her first movie ever, and her name, I forget what it was her real name in that movie. So, very cool movie, man. As far as slashers go, it's actually well done. But if you're looking for blood and crazy kills, you're not going to get it.
So, this is like The Burning for me. I saw it back in the day, and I don't remember because it's such a blur because it came out right in that time where you had everything hit. You just got cable, and all these things came, and then the video store. So you just saw like 15 things that had Jamie Lee Curtis or a handful of other people, and they're all a blur to me. So I'll have to watch that and have like, you saw me during The Burning. I'd be like, I don't remember this. I remember that. I don't remember this.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I remembered very little, but the way they dispatched the villain, I was like, oh yeah, and it's really funny.
I thought I'd seen this, but hearing your description, that does not ring a bell to me at all. I'm gonna have to.
You probably saw Horror Express with Telly Savalas, and
that movie's awesome.
That movie scared me
well,
as a kid.
I see this is free on Prime, so I just added it to my watch list.
Oh yeah, you're gonna dig this.
Looking forward to it.
I mean, I saw it in the best way possible in a theater surrounded by beer, popcorn, and people wearing black T-shirts. But it'll be great at home too.
All right, well I'll check it out. I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
I finally got around to watching The Prodigy, which I think came out early last year.
With the girl from Orange Is the New Black.
Yes. It's basically the good son with a supernatural twist, basically. A serial killer is killed around the same time a boy is born, and his soul is kind of taking over the boy through the years. And
so it's Child's Play with a baby?
Kind of. It sounds dumb, and I mean, I guess the premise is a little dumb, but I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was significantly better made than I anticipated. I'd kind of put it off forever because I was like, a little kid who's a killer. Oh, what a shock. But the ending of this shocked me so much that it's one of those that now it's like going to be stuck in my head for a while because it did not go the way I anticipated it going at all. And I really appreciate that when a mainstream movie does things you don't expect, because that's kind of rare. Something that gets released into theaters isn't kind of paint by numbers. So I was pleasantly surprised by this. It is very solid. So if you kind of gave this a pass like I did, go back and check it out. It's pretty good.
I saw it in the theater when it came out, and it almost made my top 13 list the year that it came out.
So was it last year or not?
Yeah.
Because it said 2019.
It was 20. I thought it was 2018.
I thought it was too, but Amazon says it here. But Amazon's dates are always wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong because it wasn't on my list. Because I'd written it on my list if possible, so it wasn't on this year's.
So this would have made my list probably in 2019 had it come out then and I'd seen it. It's solid, so it's worth checking out.
Yeah, shocking, right?
I was very, very shocked by this.
Jack, you're all about the shocker. What do you got for us?
Well,
Flashing signs.
I watched the Netflix Dracula, which is a BBC production from the guys who made Sherlock.
You finished it?
Oh, I banged it out like the first week. It's only 3 episodes. They're an hour and a half each.
You go, girl.
It was Dracula, and it looked awesome. 3 episodes. First episode is tremendous. It's so good. The guy who plays Dracula, I think his name is Claes Bang, something like that.
What?
Really?
Claes.
Bang.
Oh.
Bang.
Maybe that's
B-A-N-G.
Klaus or something.
Jesus.
Claus. His name is Claus.
Hello, Mr. Klaus.
Little Santa Claus coming to town reference. It's kind of the Jonathan Harker going to the castle, but they put a new spin on it. The guy who plays Dracula is menacing, but funny. And there's a nun who is like sharp-witted, and she's also awesome. She's played by Dolly Wells, Sister Agatha. She's tremendous. They do everything so right. It was so great.
Damn.
Second episode kind of changes scenery. Most of it takes place on a boat, and it's almost like kind of a. It's not a murder mystery, but it's got that kind of feel to it, and it also is really, really, really good. Maybe if the first one is an A plus, this one's an A. I'm like, wow, this is great. Loving this, and again, the humor, the viciousness. There's some kind of in both episodes. There's like throwbacks. You see like homages to other vampire movies. There's a couple of Gary Oldman references. There's a clear Christopher Lee reference, and other stuff. And then the third episode happens, and I don't want if they had made if the order of goodness of these episodes had gone in reverse, they would have been okay. But instead of ending strong, they started strong, and a lot happens. The third episode is so different from the first 2 that it pissed a lot of people off. It's a big letdown. I still think it's worth watching because there's some really good stuff they do in it, but they fumbled the ball kind of at the goal line.
There's whole websites dedicated to how shitty it ends.
Yeah. And they take some big swings with the whole vampire mythology. I definitely think it's worth watching, but the word is out on it now. They did not stick the landing.
And for 5 hours of my time,
Yeah.
that's a hard no.
Yeah. You
That's
basically
the
just
problem.
talked me out of it.
I knew, and that's why I brought this to because originally we thought about doing this for the show. And I said,
Right.
as soon as I say something like this, you guys aren't going to watch it. So if you're a vampire fan or even a Sherlock fan, check it out. I don't think the third episode is the worst thing in the world, but it is a letdown because the first 2 are so good. But the first 2 are so good that it's worth watching, I think. But yeah, just they really. I felt like it was that. Was it the Seahawks against the friggin' Patriots where they lost the game at the end, the last play?
Yes, it was.
Did I mention? Sorry,
Yes, it was.
So
Yeah. Okay.
BBC Dracula. Oh, they were so close and they fumbled the ball.
Thanks for the heads up.
You know, I just tried to watch Picnic at Hanging Rock, the series that just came out.
Oh, I've thought about trying that. How's
There's
that?
Samara Weaving's in it and Natalie Dormer. I got through one episode and I was like, no, not watching any more of this. Made a hard and fast decision. I'm not going to put myself through that. All right, my movie. This is not a horror movie in any way, shape, or form, but it was on Shudder. So we're going to call it a horror movie. A Bluebird in My Heart.
Okay. I saw that and I was like, is this horror?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'll check out Bluebird. Maybe it's a tattoo on some girl's ankle. This is about some Danish dude who he's an ex-con and he gets hired by this woman who runs this weird kind of European hotel or wayward house for men. I have no idea what this is. And she's got her own husband's in jail. And she's got a teenage daughter who's typical fucked up teenage daughter in that kind of situation. And he just wants to be left alone and live his life, and he gets a job in a Chinese food restaurant, like washing dishes. But everywhere he goes, he fixes things. He's great with his hands, so he's fixing up the hotel, and he's fixing up the Chinese food place, and he eventually, reluctantly, starts to fix up the girl, because originally he wants nothing to do with her. You can't tell if she is looking for a daddy or a fast fuck with this girl. Like, she's really straight up European girl. Like, you only find these girls in Europe.
Go on.
Go on. Go on. By the way, there is a very big full frontal nudity with her, and I immediately went to IMDb, and I was like, oh, 20s. Okay. So it's okay to look. But she is attacked by her dope dealer friend and raped. And this guy saves her and chases the guy off. And then he's just one of those guys, everything he touched turns to violence. So it just follows him. He's one of those guys. It's like this lesson of some people are a force of nature and violence follows them. But he's not a bad guy. So like I said, it's a total drama. I mean, there's zero horror in this whatsoever. But man, was this good. I mean, I considered this putting in my top 10 for last year, but I'm like, there's no horror whatsoever.
Damn.
So I just couldn't do it. I made that exception with what's that movie that we love, Jack? The one in Tasmania.
Oh, Nightingale.
So yeah, I made the exception with that. This didn't have enough real life horror in it for me to put it in there. But damn, it's a really good movie.
There's a few scenes in the Nightingale, the nightmare imagery. Mm-hmm. That is pretty horror.
Look, just what happens in that.
Yes,
but that's enough right there.
Yeah.
This didn't have.
I'm surprised
that
this stopped you. I mean, you put Logan on your list one year, you douche.
Logan was so good.
It is, but it's not a horror movie.
That's straight up horror. More blood was shed in Logan than any horror movie that year. So then it made the blood quotient. See, there's different. It's a formula, man. There's a matrix going on behind me in this belfry.
Yeah, I must have lost my spreadsheet with all the calculations in it.
Yes, you did, Jason.
All right, I got a video game, actually. I finally got around to playing the World War Z game on PC. World War Z is everyone's favorite zombie movie, right? So the game came out and people were like, but I thought it looked pretty cool because it has and when I played it, it is... I love this game. It's basically Left 4 Dead 3 that we never got. If you've ever wondered what it would be like being in the actual World War Z movie when there are thousands of zombies descending upon you at the same time, that is exactly what this game is. I have a buddy I play with who he gets video games can scare the shit out of him, and he is basically just screaming in my ear the entire time we're playing. So it's if you like zombie games, man, it's really fun. It's simple. But that's why I like it. You just hop in, play around, and I think in one level we each killed like 600 zombies. One level, 700 zombies. So it is a freaking ton of action. It's a lot of fun, and I got it I think for $5 on the Christmas sale on the Epic Games launcher. So for $5, man, I've gotten my money's worth already, and I'm going to keep playing it for a while. Ton of fun.
Sounds better than the movie.
I'll tell you what. Speaking about things being turned into series, they should just take the book. World War Z, and forget how many chapters are in that book, but each chapter could be an episode of a miniseries on HBO, and it would be great.
Yeah. Especially when they do the Battle of Yonkers right outside my old house, which is literally, he put it right outside my house.
But why would you do that if you're Netflix when you can make another Adam Sandler movie? Just saying.
Want to touch the hiney? All right.
Jack? I went to the theater and I saw Parasite.
Oh, where did you see that? Was playing by you?
It's playing at the Avon.
Oh, damn.
Now, the reason I'm mentioning it here is because I have heard some people say this is the best horror movie of the year, or it's been mentioned. It is not a horror movie, but there's some reasons why a horror movie fan would like this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to really tell you much more than it's about a lower class family that ends up kind of infiltrating a wealthy family and scamming them into working for them. And then things happen that I'm not even going to tell you, but this is a great movie. And it got nominated for Best Picture, and another thing. It'll probably win the best foreign film. It is great, and some of the stuff that you'll never see coming is tremendous. And so the horror fan in you, will be satisfied, but it's not a horror movie, but it is a great movie. So just want to leave it at that. If you get a chance to see it,
I've been wanting to.
I really want to see that
I've been
movie.
dying to see it for a while.
It came and went so fast by me. I was like, "Ugh, damn it, I missed it." I
think it's playing all week at the. I think it's playing all week at the Avon. If you get a night after work,
Might have to slip out during the day. Well, since Jason went with a video game, I'm going to go with a book. Not all movies. I got an advanced reading copy of Night Things, Nowhere to Hide. This is by Terry M. West, which, Jack, we've had him on the show. Terry's
good man.
Dude, he could. If one of us dies, he could just fill in for the other, and probably we wouldn't notice that one of us is gone. Yeah, it's utterly piece of garbage. No, he's great, and he has the series, the Night Thing series, which is he reimagines Dracula and Frankenstein, but as modern day like rulers of the city. They're like mobsters and stuff like it's really crazy. So this one is he introduces us to Jekyll and Hyde, who, I mean, I could have cared less about Jekyll and Hyde when I was young growing up. I was like, But this, if Jekyll and Hyde was like this originally, I'd be all for it because the dynamic between the two he has here is just fantastic. And how he's weaving them into the story of this fight for, it's like the fight between the monsters, as well as the monsters trying to coexist with humans and try to do their thing on the DL so the humans don't get so upset that they do the pitchforks and kill them all.
So we're right back to Mad Monster Party.
Right back. So I'm going to tell you, I think it's the 4th in the series.
That's what's said on Amazon.
But anyway, check this out. Super book. Everything Terry does is great. And he also wrote a Hardy Boys book. So let's support anyone who's had to do that.
We had him on Monster Man a couple of months ago, and it's a great conversation we have with him. You should check it out.
I missed that one. I don't think I ever saw it pop up in my feed. Damn it.
Yeah, you'd like that.
All right.
He's good.
He's a true horror fan. This guy knows his shit. And it comes through in his work. So
I got one more thing. I haven't read him in a while, and I don't know why. The Dark Game by Jonathan Jans. I love Jans's. I love his writing, and for some reason it's been like 2 years since I read one of his books because I suck. But if you've never read a Jans before, I should preface it by he's maybe the nicest guy who ever talked to in person.
He is the nicest guy ever.
He is the anti-me.
Yes, yeah, he's literally your antithesis. But when you read his writing, it is vile, it is violent, it's full of sex. His stuff is crazy, but it's incredibly well written. He likes his dollar words, unlike me. I like penny words, but he's very very well written, very well written. Jesus, see what I'm talking about? And he's great. So,
yep, gotcha, Tyson.
Yeah, this is a novel about a group of writers who are all brought in for a competition with the most famous writer ever, who's going to pick one of them and mentor them and get them a huge book deal and make them millionaires, and basically they'll be his protege and they'll be the next him. And it starts this intense competition between all of them, and then some of them start disappearing and some of them start seeing things and their imaginations start to run wild, and then just crazy shit happens from there. So it is a book that I read very quickly. I don't even know how long it was, maybe 400 pages, but I just blew through it. Jans is great. If you haven't read anything, he's got shorts up you can grab for $1. I think I paid a couple bucks for this. I don't know, $5, $6. Totally worth it. So,
damn. Yeah. That's on my list.
Dark Game by Jonathan Jans. Check it out.
Awesome. Jack, you got any more bullets in the chamber?
Nope. Let's get to that main feature.
All right, everybody. Stay tuned. Here comes...
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
All right, Monster Party is a movie that has a party, but no monsters, so to speak. Not what I was expecting. But, Jack, you're Mr. Synopsis. You're the king of Sinopi. The island of Sinopi. 2 sentences. Can you do it? In
3 small-time crooks pose as caterers.
Okay.
To
The
pull off
dramatic
a
pauses are
robbery
killing me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. This is Shatner-esque.
at a very wealthy person's home. However, the party is hosted and 4 addicts, but not to drugs or alcohol or gambling or one of the many other vices, but to murder.
Murder.
And when things go wrong, we are now in a game of cat and mouse between the addicted murderers and their luscious potential victims who must work their way out of the monster party, if you will.
I want to ask you, you mentioned luscious. Who do you think was more luscious, Dodge or Casper? When you say luscious.
Yeah. What?
Who's Dodge and Luscious? Is that the 2 blondes in the movie?
No, the 2 dudes.
Oh.
And the girl's name was Iris. That's my cat's
Iris.
name. That's why I remember that one.
This is Iris.
Jack, that was a great
It's
performance.
Iris.
I just had flashbacks to Rescue 911.
Excellent job. All right, Jason. This was
Yes.
Jack's idea, right?
It was my idea.
All right, Jason. I think I heard you say on Twitter you had thoughts on this one.
Some in spoilers, but some I guess I can give you right now.
Some coherent.
I like this movie. It held my interest, which the worst thing for me is when a movie bores the crap out of me. And this did not do that.
Mm-hmm.
It had some good actors in it. I thought the pacing was pretty brisk. There wasn't a whole lot of wasted time. And it's a cool idea. So in that regard, this is the kind of movie that you find on Shudder and it's like, hey, that was worth a watch. This is why I have my Shudder subscription. So
right.
I enjoyed it. My wife did not at all, but I enjoyed it.
Oh. Jack, who'd you watch it with?
I watched it with The Stranger.
I have to stop. I'm getting pins and needles again.
So first of all, I really like this movie, and Jason, you said it exactly. This is exactly what I'm looking for in a Shudder movie. A lot of fun, not too deep, and a blast, fast-paced, great cast. Yep. Also, 2 smoking hot blondes in this movie.
Well,
so
an important blonde.
I'm watching this movie, and the first blonde is the girl from Starfish, who's one of the caterers. Then they get to the party, and one of the hosts, one of the people attending the party, is this stunning blonde girl in a red dress. And it's driving me crazy because her voice is, I'm like, I know her. Who is this? Turns out she's the girl who plays the young superhero girl from The Boys.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. So, having said that, you got Julian McMahon from Charmed and Nip Tuck.
Yep.
Dr. Doom himself.
Looking so weird with that. I don't know. Whatever they did with his hair and
he
that
looks like a patient
facial
from
hair. He looks so bizarre.
Robin Tooney from The Craft and The Mentalist.
Who my wife, the minute she saw her, like the second she goes, oh, that's that girl from that movie with the witches. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, holy shit, it is her.
And then the black guy, I think he was in the Wire, but he's on this show on Comedy Central about people who, it's like kind of like Office Space but wackier. It's
Workaholics?
Working. No, it's called like Working.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
He's like the boss, and he is hilarious in that
Lance
show.
Reddick. He's in all the John Wick movies. He works at the hotel.
He was hilarious in this too.
Yeah, he's great. So great cast, a lot of fun, and thank you, Shudder, for putting something like this on. So
yeah, I sat down last night to watch it. My wife and I. It was early. I said, let's see what this is. There was something about the way the very beginning was shot. I'm like, all right, this is cool. This is I could tell this has a little wry sense of humor. I'm just like you guys. I thought the cast was really good. Fun movie. Loved the girl from the Boys. It was nice to see that all-American face be such a kind of garbage person who's trying to redeem herself. You know what I mean? Just to see her say the F word was thrilling.
Very different from her character in The Boys.
So different. I like the directions. Look, I wasn't once they got to the house, I'm like, oh, I know what they're talking about. So I wasn't shocked by anything that happened here, but I liked the way they did it. My wife loved it. I think she loved it even more than me. I mean, she was like, "Oh my God, this would be my best movie of the year if it was last year." Like,
Number one?
No.
What?
But she was on MBN or something. But I mean, it's a really good movie, and this is the kind of stuff that you do, pay your Shudder subscription for. These are the discoveries that are like, yeah, baby, it's like a little fist pump. So, good flick.
You're welcome.
I hate when we all agree. We need divisiveness.
Yeah, it is a little weird. It's a simple movie too. There aren't a whole lot of things we can really talk about without, I don't know, talking about kills or something, because if you don't see the plot twist coming 10 minutes into the movie, you're not paying attention.
And you haven't read the description beforehand.
Yeah.
You've just stumbled into this blind.
There's a couple of younger guys in the party. We're probably my least favorite people in the movie.
The kid with the freckles I wanted to murder.
Yeah.
But I think that was the idea.
The two of them were a big part of the problem with my wife. She was like, these are the worst characters in any movie ever. I'm like, yep. Awful.
Yeah. But I think they were supposed to be.
For sure. I mean, it pissed me off, but it really pissed her off.
The kid.
Another great thing.
I hated him too.
Another great thing about the movie, though, is they surprise you because you never know what's going to happen or who's going to get what to happen to them. So yes, there's not a ton of surprises as far as the overall direction of it.
Two things that come out. You're like, whoa, shit!
They're yes.
Like one you knew was inevitable, but it happens when you don't think it's going to happen. And another one was just like, holy crap, they just did that. So
two big
kudos
shocking
for that
moments
too.
In this movie. Very shocking moments, which moved it up the scale a lot for me.
Yeah. So when you got a movie, now you're on uneven ground. I love that because you don't get that very often. It was like, I don't know who the hell is going to die in this one now.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. You're right.
Yeah. So I think you can pay-per-view this on Amazon if you don't have a Shudder.
And it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's probably only $5 or something. So
yeah, this is definitely it's not the best movie in the world, but it's a lot of fun. And so if you're looking for something, this is definitely worth a rent.
If you liked 1917, you'll love Monster Party. That's when the whole suggestion machine is broken.
Shall we get into spoilers, my friends? Because
let's do it.
Spoiler bell.
Yes, because we're telling everybody to watch this. So yes, we can spoil
watch it. And now if you don't want to be spoiled, see you later.
Spoiler bell.
We are now in the spoiler zone.
Every time you ring that, I want communion. Did I ever tell you the time a priest punched me for ringing the bell too long during Mass?
But that's amazing.
Maybe he was punching you just because you're a schmuck.
I was a very good little kid at the time. But I remember it was like a 7:30 Mass, and I rang the bell. He came to me after the Mass. He says, Kevin, come here a second. He puts his hand on my shoulder. I'm like, he's going to be nice. When you rang that bell, did you realize how long you rang that for? I'm like, oh, no, Father. And he punched me right in the stomach. And he said, don't let it happen again. And he walked away. Left me gasping for my breath so I could walk 3 blocks home at 8:30 at night in like 6th grade.
Wow.
Fucking ass.
And my name is the Lord.
Oh, now you know why I'm a Buddhist.
I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance.
And furious anger. Oh, God. Yeah, he was. He's not a priest anymore. Shocker.
He's in prison now.
So
I hope so.
There's a couple of twists and turns. First of all, they go down to the basement or whatever, and they find the
Mickey.
imprisoned mutant guy.
Yep. This is the best and
brother.
worst part of the movie.
Oh, I don't
But
even.
luckily,
Yeah,
they don't spend a long time there, and that's one of the big moments.
Yes.
By the way, doesn't he look like Clint Howard after he slept wrong on the pillow?
Jesus Christ.
I thought he looked like Clint Howard. I swear to God.
Clint
Watch
Howard's
it again.
awesome. Shut up.
He is awesome. I love Clint Howard, but he
God.
looks like
Clint Howard. All right, so
Good night
so
and
the two
God
shocking
bless.
parts to me. The first are when one of the three main characters gets his hand lopped off, just boom, out of nowhere. Like holy shit.
Early.
The stakes got raised. And from then on it was kind of okay, this movie's you don't know what they're gonna do. But then
he gets his hand cut off and then just flat out dies.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that dude had a lot of screen time up to that point. So they just gone. The second is when
Goodbye, Dodge.
the mutant guy comes up and just kills the pregnant girl. Just boom.
Oh my! Eats her face
which
off.
she died from, which I didn't quite understand. But
wait,
it was.
Oh, did you see that face?
It's a hamburger face.
That hole. Oh.
Yeah,
so yeah, they killed the pregnant
which is another
girl.
one that like, okay, this movie's gonna go anywhere, which I really appreciated. Which leads me to my biggest problem with the movie, is that scene with the mutant was like 5 minutes long of buildup of this dude like yelling and freaking out in the basement, and then he comes up and then he dies instantly. And I'm like, what the hell, man? I saw him for 5 seconds.
What? That's Raiders of the Lost Ark.
What?
Yeah.
That's Raiders of the Lost Ark. The sword, and then shoot him.
The Raiders of
kill
the
him?
Lost Ark buildup was 20 seconds long, and then that happens.
True, but it was funny because when he got unleashed, I said, man, it would be great if they kill him before he even gets out the door, or like the moment he steps out the door. They gave him a little space to eat her face.
I agree. Had they done that, as soon as
and
he walks out
shock
the
us.
door, they cut his head off. That would have been amazing. Instead, it was like just enough of a tease that I'm like, damn it, like what the hell, man? This should have been like this amazing knockdown, drag out fight, and instead he just dies. I'm like, ah.
I don't know.
I thought because he killed the main character girl, I thought the payoff was okay. I actually was glad they didn't dwell on him because I thought he was the most ridiculous element.
Right, you could believe all the rest.
Yeah,
not
so
the
when
mutant in the basement.
So they kind of build him up. He has this big shock value, and then they got to get him out of the way so they could go back and deal with the 25 people upstairs that they've got to deal with.
Right.
But listen, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I just
I love how his only words are "good night" and "God bless" or something like that. And he's dead.
His death
it's
was awesome.
What?
I'm not taking that away from it.
Yes.
Just
some of the kills there were pretty cool.
The effects work was well done. A lot of times when you watch these independent movies, they can't afford the practical effects, and they use the digital blood splatters and shit that just look god awful. This did not suffer from that at all. It looked great.
No.
And when the party first starts to get out of control, several of the party attendees who you think are going to be main characters die as well.
Yes. One quite unceremoniously.
Yeah, and so that's
down the
where
stairs?
I just like the fact that there was nobody was safe. So they played that card well, and they spaced it out enough that every so often you're just like, oh damn, they went there again.
Yeah.
You know what I liked in the when Robin Tunney gathered everyone around and started telling the story about the man that she saw on a bench when she was out taking a walk and stuff, and how he looked like he needed help, and she goes, and I did nothing, and then the story just ends, and you think, oh, okay, so you're upset you did nothing, so you want to get back. No, she's proud she didn't kill him.
That was very well done.
So in retrospect, that was such a cool story.
I loved her whole thread where she's like, she's really working on it. She is really working on it. And this other really like, no,
she's actually very pissed off. Everyone is ruining her sobriety. Yeah. It was great seeing Robin Tunney in something again. I feel like it's been forever. And she's great.
Really forever.
She was on the Mentalist is the last thing I saw her on that TV show.
Now we got to get Rachel True back. Because she looks the same.
Oh, the other one,
the African American girl from holy crap, Jack, help me out here. The which movie?
Oh, The Craft.
The Craft.
The Craft. Yeah.
And the main girl from The Craft, the bad guy one, Faruka Salt or whatever the hell her name is.
Faruka Balk.
Yeah.
Faruka Salt.
She's going to be either on some new TV show or horror movie. I just saw her in something. Like
Really?
In a trailer or something. I was like, hey, she's back.
Faruza Balk. Last time I saw her was on like The Sopranos.
Oh my God, that's right.
It's been a long time. Good for her.
And she's an Adam Sandler movie.
Want to touch the hiney? Fucking guy's a billionaire over that.
Hey, Uncut Gems is great. You guys see that?
All right.
I do want to see it. I got my pass. I should just go. Cost me nothing.
So,
do we have anything else to dissect on this?
I don't think we need to talk about it. This is just a fun turn off your
super
brain and have
simple.
fun movie.
That's why I was like, we kept talking about other movies, and I was looking at the clock. I'm like, doesn't matter. What the hell are we gonna talk about? Couple cool kills.
Well, yeah, this was short and sweet, and we like to complete.
The big news here is just that Shudder served up. In many ways, I thought I like this better than The Perfection because it's just more fun. But same kind of level is like I like movies like that's a good caliber of a Netflix movie, and this was a good caliber Shudder movie. It's like I enjoyed that. I don't know if I would want to see that in a theater or whatever, but I enjoyed it as home entertainment.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. With the stranger. So next week we've decided we're going to watch a movie called Extraordinary. Extraordinary.
Will Forte is in this movie.
Yes, it's a British horror comedy about a paranormal events happening. So there's ghosts and people floating and stuff. Gonna be crackling good. So I think you have to pay to see it.
It's like $5 or $6.
Yeah, minimal. Come on.
I think it's the podcast Nightmare on Film Street. They did their like best of podcast, and they clearly we need to figure out what they're doing because they got all these advanced screeners and went to some stuff. Everything on their list was like, oh, it's not out yet, but it's my favorite movie of the year. I'm like,
yeah, thanks, schmucks.
Thank you. But one of them was that's how I had heard about this movie several times, and then when they said it, I looked again. So I've just been keeping my eye out, and then suddenly, like yesterday, I saw oh, it's finally available to watch. So
no, it made me LOL in the trailer, so that's a good sign.
Yeah,
we'll see. It gave me the lols. All right, so that's it for tonight, everybody. And if you don't want to tell anybody about us, please don't. We're going to use reverse psychology this year. So don't rate us, don't review us, tell nobody. This is our little secret, okay? Our dirty little secret. All right, so that's it for this week. Tune in next week, Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for more Final Guide.
Bye-bye.